y'all, I am Michelle Mazelleغ. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to share with you all this video clip and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So let's get into it.
I prefer not to get married to an American woman is because most American women are wired for divorce. Many of them come into your life just to divorce you. They are okay with going through a divorce. They are not willing to take any hit. Any little thing. I'm about to go to the car. I'm about to go to court and get a divorce with you right now, man. I ain't playing with you, boy. I don't want you no more. I'm going to check out this relationship. I do not want to go through that. Most American women live on fast food. Checkers, KFC, Popeye chicken, and McDonald's. I do not want to go through having to buy food every day outside. This is one of the reasons why I would prefer to get married to an African woman, because African women, they have been trained to make food in the house. They have been trained to stay in relationships no matter what happens. It's very difficult for an African woman to get a divorce.
So there's a lot of negative comments on this video, and the negative comments are mostly from women. There were some that were from men, but most of the comments, negative comments, were coming from women. It's okay for a woman to have standards and expectations. They can say that they want a man to make more than them. They can say that they want a man to have a good job. They want him to be able to provide. They can have standards and expectations, but a man is not supposed to have standards and expectations. When a man has standards and expectations, there are some women that can't deal with that. They take it very personally, and they will start negatively attacking the man for having standards and expectations. And that's exactly what I was saying in this comment section. You have some women that were negatively attacking him simply because he's saying that these are my standards. These are my expectations, and if you don't meet them, then you're not for me. It's the same situation as a woman. If she has standards and expectations and a man does not meet them, she would say what? She's not going to settle. And so it should not be okay for a woman to have standards and expectations, but a man to not have standards and expectations. So I wanted to start off with that because I have seen that way too many times for men being negatively attacked simply because they too have standards and expectations in a woman. And if a woman isn't meeting that, then he doesn't feel like he has to settle either. All right, so let's go in and talk about what he said in the video. So the first thing he said was that he did not want to date American women, or he does not want to date American women because they don't want to be married. Basically, they always want to go for the divorce. They're not wanting to stay for the long haul. They are ready to go to court and divorce for whatever reason. On social media, what I'm seeing a lot of right now is weddings. You will see a wedding, a different wedding every day on whatever social media platform. The more elaborate, the better. Women are showing their dresses. They're showing the grooms crying. They're showing groomsmen and bridesmaids walking up and down the aisle in a different way. They're showing the venue, their cake. I mean, they're showing all of this in hopes that people will look at it and that they will get a lot of views on social media and people will talk about how beautiful the wedding is. And so that's what we see now. The emphasis now is on the wedding part. If y'all remember when Michelle Obama said that she didn't like her husband for 10 years and how women went after her for that. Well, you should have left him. What were you still doing with him? And it's just like, it is about getting through those patches, getting through those, those difficult situations, and remembering why you married that person to begin with, and understanding that the love should outweigh those problems. And unfortunately, in American society, the importance of marriage is just not something we see anymore. People are looking down on traditional marriages. They're looking down on traditional wives. They're looking down on traditional husbands. And so that's not really what people are saying. Okay, you need to stay married. You need to fight through that. You need to get through that together. Now marriage is very individualized. if a person doesn't get all the needs met, if the person is a little bit unhappy, if the person doesn't get everything that she wants, then yes, people will encourage her to leave. They will encourage her to divorce him. They will encourage her to be single. Mind you, people that usually are saying that are people that don't have a man and most of the time have never been married. So, you have people now on social media giving advice to women on relationships and they're not even in one. What I see right now, marriage is just not on the top of the totem pole. People are marrying marrying and having weddings left and right and getting divorced at the same speed. Next thing he said was that American women live on fast food, and he started talking about the different types of fast food. Now, it is not a secret that there are so many varieties in the United States of America. There's literally a fast food restaurant on every corner. There's a restaurant on every corner. You can have food DoorDash to you. You can have meals already prepared, mailed to you. So there's so many different varieties in America. That's the reason why people feel like they don't have to cook anymore. But in a lot of African countries, a home cooked meal is still something that is practiced. It is still something that is expected for women to do in their household. Now, I can't tell you how much flack I got from African American women when they found out that I cooked at home most of the time. And they could not understand while I was cooking for my husband, while I was cooking for my family, how can I cook every day? And, I'm working and all this other kind of stuff. And I actually at one point felt shame about sharing that, yes, I did cook majority of the time and I actually enjoyed that. Now it's almost like people are making it seem as though when a woman cooks for her husband, when a woman cooks for her family, she's a slave, that, he doesn't appreciate her. There have been a couple of TikTok videos. One video where she was a surgeon, I think, or a doctor, and she said she had worked a 12-hour shift and she had got home and she had cooked her husband a meal because he wanted a home cooked meal. And they just went off on this man. Mind you, again, these are women that don't have a man at home, because if they had a man at home, they would understand where this woman was coming from. And she had to go through explaining why she was cooking for her husband, even though she didn't owe them any explanation. What I find interesting about this is there's also a TikTok channel where a woman cooks for her dog. And nobody's saying anything about her cooking for her dog. And people are talking about how wonderful a pet owner she is for taking care of her dog. But you don't want a woman taking care of her man. Please explain that to me. So the last thing he was talking about was African women being trained to cook and trained to stay in marriage. And that's the reason why he wants to date and marry an African woman. And of course, I think trained might not have been the right word. It might be they're taught how to be, how to be in a marriage, what type of wife to be in a marriage, what type of woman to be in a marriage. And so a lot of people were thrown off by that. A lot of people were thinking that he was saying that an African woman would stay no matter what. And what he means by that, when people talk like this, they're not talking about when you're in an abusive situation or when you're in a situation that is going to, jeopardize your safety. They're talking about the normal wear and tear of a relationship. And that's what he's talking about, staying no matter what. The whole Michelle Obama and Barack Obama situation where she didn't like him for 10 years, that's staying no matter what. Staying no matter how I feel on Monday, staying no matter if you made me angry on Monday, staying no matter if, we didn't see eye to eye on Monday. That's what he means by staying no matter what, which means it shouldn't just be the most frivolous things for the reason why you're just walking out on a marriage, walking out on a relationship. And a lot of times in American society, they would tell you you can walk out on the silliest things. He put cheese on your sandwich and you didn't want cheese, and so you're just gonna walk out. It's that frivolous now. You don't work through the issues, you don't work through the problems. And it's just like, marriage is something that you got to work towards. You got to work towards it. You got to choose To be happy, you got to choose to get up every morning and be with that person. You are choosing that. And a lot of people are choosing to be by themselves and then be mad because they're single. I mean, okay. He does not want to have to teach a woman to be the type of woman he wants her to be. And there are some American women who are not being taught to give a home cook, cook a home cooked meal. They're not being taught to go through marriage, for richer, for poor, for better and worse. They're not being taught that. So since some of these American women are not being taught that, he does not want to have to worry about that. He doesn't want to have to go through that. He doesn't want to have to go through that situation. And since that's the case, he would rather just stick with the women that he knows. The women that he knows is going to do exactly what he wanted to do, the way he wants it to be done, and be done with it. He doesn't want to have to put himself through that. And what's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. If you don't agree with what he's saying, then of course he ain't the man for you. If you're not willing to change to meet his standards and expectations, he ain't the man for you. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. So that's all I have to say on that issue, you all. I am Michele Mazelleغ. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.